So contrast all of that with the way she talks about H and their relationship. Here is it. Is it 46 or 47, Lauren? You choose.
January 2026, Meghan Markle just celebrated what she claims was her 44th birthday. The internet's flooded with happy birthday wishes, cake photos, celebrity messages. But here's what nobody's talking about. What if the birthday everyone celebrated wasn't actually her real birthday? What if the age Meghan's been claiming for years is completely wrong? And what if her own father, Thomas Markle, her childhood friends, and her relatives know the truth, but nobody's been paying attention? Because there's evidence floating around that suggests Meghan might not have been born in 1981 like she claims. Some sources say 1977. That's a 4-year difference. 4 years she might be hiding from the world. And here's what makes this absolutely crazy. Thomas Markle, her own father, has apparently made statements that don't line up with Meghan's official story. Childhood friends have come forward with timelines that don't make sense if she was born in 81. Court documents have raised questions, so buckle up tight, because what you're about to hear could mean Meghan's been lying about her age since before she even met Harry.
It's an attraction to each other, and we're 13, 14-year-olds, so the history's kind of from there. It's like we talk, we find out that we're both of the same racial makeup. We just decided it was a good idea to become boyfriend and girlfriend. Meghan, as a 13-year-old, was very kind, very sweet.
Let me start with the obvious question. Why would Meghan Markle lie about her age? What's the point? Well, think about Hollywood. Think about what happens to actresses when they hit a certain age. Meghan was trying to make it as an actress for years before Suits. Struggling, auditioning constantly, not getting major roles. And she knew the brutal truth about Hollywood. Women over 35 have a way harder time getting cast. The opportunities disappear. The phone stops ringing. If Meghan was actually born in 1977 instead of 1981, that means when she landed Suits in 2011, she would have been 34, not 30. That's a huge difference in Hollywood terms. That's the difference between fresh face and past prime.
However, in the engagement interview, while she was praising the family and obviously before she married into it, Meghan directly said that she had witnessed mistruths.
And think about Harry. When they got together in 2016, Meghan claimed to be 35. If she was actually born in 77, she would have been 39, almost 40. That's a completely different conversation. Harry was born in 1984. Official story says Meghan's 3 years older. But what if she's actually 7 years older? That changes the dynamic completely. That's something she might desperately want to hide from the world. You see what I'm saying? There's real motivation here. Real reasons why someone in Meghan's position would shave years off their age. Hollywood demands it for survival. Now let's talk about what's been reported regarding Thomas Markle. According to various sources online, Thomas has made statements about Meghan's birth that don't match her official story. Some people claim Thomas mentioned Meghan being born in 77, not 81, his own daughter. He'd know when she was born, right? He was there, he raised her, paid for everything from preschool through Northwestern.
Meghan Markle, you and your new Netflix show, I wish you well. I don't know you. I've never been, I haven't watched Suits or anything, but Thomas Markle Jr., this is about you. Both your versions of your childhood could be true. And I grew up with siblings in a home and under the same roof. I mean, we have steps, but under the same roof, there were 4 of us.
Why would Thomas Markle get his own daughter's birth year wrong? Unless there's something to hide. Unless the official story got changed somewhere along the way? That doesn't make sense. And here's what makes this suspicious. Thomas and Meghan are estranged. They haven't spoken since 2018. Thomas has given countless interviews talking about Meghan, calling out things he says aren't true. He's bitter, he's angry. Thomas has criticized Meghan for lying about other things, the staged paparazzi photos, stories about him, her relationship with her family. He's not someone who holds back when he thinks she's being dishonest. He'll say it. So when reports surface suggesting Thomas has questioned or contradicted Meghan's age, that carries real weight. That's her own father potentially calling out another massive lie. Here's where this gets even crazier. There's a childhood friend of Meghan's named Joshua Silverstein. actor from Los Angeles. He's appeared on shows, done interviews, built a career in entertainment.
Have you discussed it with your father, Thomas?
Yeah, he said the same. He said the same thing. I don't believe, and he doesn't believe that there are kids, because you don't yank around and use alleged children as pawns so much. We're only going to let you see our children if you behave in a certain way, and we can control the landscape.
Joshua came forward and told a story about Meghan that completely destroys her timeline if you do the math. He said they dated as kids. They were at summer camp together in Santa Monica. They were both 13 years old when they shared a kiss. Sounds innocent enough, right? Cute childhood story. Except here's the problem. Joshua Silverstein was born in 1977. That's documented. If Joshua was 13 at summer camp, that puts them at camp in 1990. If Meghan was also 13 in 1990, that means she was born in 1977, not 1981 like she claims. The math doesn't lie. You can't be 13 in 1990 if you were born in 81. You'd be 9 years old. 9.
So Prince Charles married Princess Diana, who was probably more of an aristocrat, more blue-blooded than he was, apparently.
How is that possible?
I think her family was more English, more going back generations.
So either Joshua is lying about the summer camp story, or Meghan is lying about when she was born. And why would Joshua lie? What does he gain? He's not trying to take down Meghan. He just told a story about their childhood that accidentally exposed a massive inconsistency nobody can explain. This is the kind of thing that makes people question everything. When the details don't add up, when the timeline falls apart under basic math, something's seriously wrong. Let's talk about what allegedly happened in court documents. Multiple sources online have pointed to legal filings that seem to contradict Meghan's official age. In 2021, Meghan was fighting her privacy case against the Mail on Sunday. Court documents were filed, legal papers went back and forth. And apparently, somewhere in those documents, there was information that suggested Meghan might be older than she claims.
But the reality is this, there is a degree of it being uncomfortable, because he's lied, he's been found out, that's the problem. But the evidence hasn't gone to court. It's not, there's that lack of finality about it. And
he's always denied everything.
Social media users noticed discrepancies. People started doing the math based on information in the filings. Age gaps between Meghan and her siblings, timelines that didn't match official records, details that made people stop and question. The fact that multiple people noticed the same inconsistencies, that suggests something in those legal papers didn't match Meghan's public story. That's not one person being crazy. That's multiple people seeing the same problem. If the documents clearly showed 1981 and everything matched perfectly, nobody would be talking about this. The fact that people saw problems, that they started questioning based on legal filings, that means the official story has visible cracks. Now let's bring in Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, someone who definitely knows family history and has been very vocal about what she considers Meghan's lies. Samantha was born November 24th, 1964. That's confirmed. She's currently 60 years old. The official story says there's a 17-year age gap between Samantha and Meghan.
Southend, he just will not leave. But time's of the essence, because Prince William and Catherine and their kids are moving in the next 10 days to their new property, their forever home, Forest Lodge. And apparently they don't want to be bumping into Andrew as they go and walk the dogs down the lane. So there's an added pressure now.
But here's where reports online get interesting. Some sources claim that in legal documents or statements, Samantha has referenced a different age gap, a 13-year gap instead of 17. If that's true, if Samantha's ever stated Meghan is 13 years younger, that would make Meghan born in 1977. Samantha knows the family history. She grew up with Thomas. She was there when Meghan was born. She knows when her little sister actually came into this world. If Samantha's ever contradicted the official story, even accidentally in legal papers, that's absolutely huge. And Samantha has no reason to protect Meghan at this point. They're estranged, bitter enemies. Samantha's been calling out what she sees as Meghan's lies for years. Lawsuits flying everywhere. If Samantha knows Meghan lied about her age, she'd have every motivation to expose it publicly. The fact that age discrepancies keep coming up in connection with Samantha's statements, that's not coincidence. That's a pattern you can't ignore.
And I got it in the car and then returned it straight away.
Once the scandal broke?
As soon as I knew it was a scandal, not once it broke, Michael. But don't try and trick me now, because I'm not going to play this game. Delete that bit. John, can you just delete it, please, that bit? Because I don't want to go down this.
Here's the thing everyone points to when defending Meghan. The California Birth Index lists August 4th, 1981. Official records, government documentation. How can that be wrong? Well, let me tell you something about official records. They can be changed, they can be corrected, they can be updated if there are errors. It happens. If someone discovered an